Cathedral schools began in the early Middle Ages as centers of advanced education, some of them ultimately evolving into medieval universities. Throughout the Middle Ages and beyond, they were complemented by the monastic schools. Some of these early cathedral schools, and more recent foundations, continued into modern times. Early schools. In the later Roman Empire, as Roman municipal education declined, bishops began to establish schools associated with their cathedrals to provide the church with an educated clergy. The earliest evidence of a school established in this manner is in Visigothic Spain at the Second Council of Toledo in 527. These early schools, with a focus on an apprenticeship in religious learning under a scholarly bishop, have been identified in other parts of Spain and in about 20 towns in Gaul during the 6th and 7th centuries. During and after the mission of St. Augustine to the southern British, cathedral schools were established as the new dioceses were themselves created. This group of schools forms the oldest schools continuously operating. A significant function of cathedral schools was to provide boy trebles for the choirs, evolving into choir schools, some of which still function as such. Charlemagne, king of the Franks and later emperor, recognizing the importance of education to the clergy and, to a lesser extent, to the nobility, set out to restore this declining tradition by issuing several decrees requiring that education be provided at monasteries and cathedrals. In 789, Charlemagne's Admonition Generales required that schools be established in every monastery and bishopric, in which children can learn to read, that psalms, notation, chant, computation, and grammar be taught. Subsequent documents, such as the Letter de Litteris Colendis, required that bishops select as teachers men who had thought and the ability to learn and a desire to instruct others, and a decree of the Council of Frankfurt recommended that bishops undertake the instruction of their clergy. Subsequently, cathedral schools arose in major cities such as Chartres, Orleans, Paris, Lyon, Reims or Rouen in France and Utrecht, Liege, Cologne, Metz, Speyer, Würzburg, Bamberg, Magdeburg, Hildesheim or Freising in Germany. Following in the earlier tradition, these cathedral schools primarily taught future clergy and provided literate administrators for the increasingly elaborate courts of the Renaissance of the 12th century. Speyer was renowned for supplying the Holy Roman Empire with diplomats. The court of Henry I of England, himself an early example of a literate king, was closely tied to the cathedral school of Lyon. Characteristics and development. Cathedral schools were mostly oriented around the academic welfare of the nobility's children. Because it was intended to train them for careers in the church, girls were excluded from the schools. Later on, many lay students who were not necessarily interested in seeking a career in the church wanted to enroll. Demand arose for schools to teach government, state, and other church affairs. The schools accepted fewer than 100 students. Pupils had to demonstrate substantial intelligence and be able to handle a demanding academic course load. Considering that books were also expensive, students were in the practice of memorizing their teachers' lectures. Cathedral schools at this time were primarily run by a group of ministers and divided into two parts. Schola Minor, which was intended for younger students, would later become elementary schools. Then there was the Schola Major, which taught older students. These would later become secondary schools. The subjects taught at cathedral schools ranged from literature to mathematics. These topics were called the 7 liberal arts: grammar, astronomy, rhetoric, logic, arithmetic, geometry and music. In grammar classes, students were trained to read, write and speak Latin, which was the universal language in Europe at the time. Astronomy was necessary for calculating dates and times. Rhetoric was a major component of a vocal education. Logic consisted of discovering the art of solving mathematical problems, and arithmetic served as the basis for quantitative reasoning. Students read stories and poems in Latin by authors such as Cicero and Virgil. Much as in the present day, cathedral schools were split into elementary and higher schools with different curricula. The elementary school curriculum was composed of reading, writing and psalmody, while the high school curriculum was trivium. The rest of the liberal arts, as well as scripture study and pastoral theology. Cathedral schools today. While cathedral schools are no longer a significant site of higher education, many Roman Catholic, Anglican, and Lutheran cathedrals operate as primary or secondary schools. Most of those listed below are modern foundations, but a few trace their history to medieval schools. Canada, Hamilton, Christ the King. Australia, Sydney, St Andrews. Sydney, St Mary's. Denmark, Ribe Cathedral School. Aarhus Cathedral School. Aalborg Cathedral School. Viborg Cathedral School. Odense Cathedral School. Roskilde Cathedral School. Finland, Turku Cathedral School. Abo, France, Paris, École Cathédrale de Paris. India, Bangalore, Cathedral High School, Bangalore. The Netherlands, Koorschool St Bavo, Haarlem. Cathedral Koorschool Utrecht. Pakistan, Punjab, Pakistan. Cathedral High School. South Africa, Cape Town, St. George's Grammar School. Kimberley, St Cyprian's Grammar School. Sweden, Linköping, Katedralskolan. Lund, Katedralskolan. Skara, Katedralskolan. Uppsala, Katedralskolan. Vaxholm, Katedralskolan. United Kingdom, England. The Seven Kings Schools, established, or re-endowed and renamed, by King Henry VIII in 1541, are located in Canterbury, Chester, Ely, Gloucester, Peterborough, Rochester and Worcester. London, St Paul's Cathedral School, Westminster Abbey Choir School, Westminster Cathedral Choir School. Bristol, Bristol Cathedral Choir School. Chelmsford, Chichester, the Prebendal School. Durham, Chorister School. Hereford, Hereford Cathedral School. Lichfield, Lichfield Cathedral School. Oxford, Christ Church Cathedral School. Salisbury, Salisbury Cathedral School. Southwell, Southwell Minster School. Wells, Wells Cathedral School. Winchester, the Pilgrims School. York, the Minster School. Wales, the Cathedral School. Llandaff, St John's College. Cardiff, Norway, Bergen Cathedral School. Hamar Cathedral School. Kristiansand Cathedral School. Oslo Cathedral School. Stavanger Cathedral School. Trondheim Cathedral School. United States, among others. Arlington, Virginia, St. Thomas More Cathedral School. Boston, Massachusetts, Cathedral High School. Kalamazoo, Michigan, St. Augustine Cathedral School. New York, New York, the Cathedral School on the Upper East Side. New York, New York, the Cathedral School of St. John the Divine, in * Salt Lake City, Utah. St. Vincent de Paul Cathedral School, Morningside Heights, Raleigh, North Carolina. Sacred Heart Cathedral School, Washington, D.C. National Cathedral School, St. Albans School, Beauvoir School.